All right, here we go. What is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and welcome to Deep Astrology and Spiritual Dance Music for your weekly astrology forecast for the week of October 20th through the 26th of 2021. Thanks so much for being with me tonight and every day by being a part of highvibe.tv. Make sure that you subscribe to highvibe.tv. This is where you can get all my awesome daily horoscopes I've been doing for 9.5 years every day on video. Plus, of course, this show, Deep Astrology, which actually I only do things for free on YouTube and give it out if it falls on a new and full moon. And for the last 2 weeks, the new moon and the full moon fell on a Wednesday when I do Deep Astrology. And I've always said that I won't leave the public always hanging. But you are missing these shows and all the shows every day, plus all the amazing talent that are on High Vibe. Also, I am doing consultations after a year plus off. You can go to highvibe.tv, click on consultations, and book a consultation with me again. And, of course, Hypergate, the 8 courses that you can watch. And then, of course, go through, well, basically makes the Matrix look like Morpheus is really boring and doesn't give you all the info. This is a school that definitely isn't so much of like the traditional school. It makes Hogwarts look like literally warts. Check it out. Go to highvibetvschool.com or highvibe.tv and click on schools. And then, of course, click on Hypergate. Well, the show is going to start first off with Deep Astrology. This is a show where I go deep into the astrology, channel to you what's going on for this week. And then, of course, go deep into the charts, which are brought to you by Astro Gold, by the way, which you can get on all devices, except if you're on PC, check out Solar Fire. Well, we have a lot to talk about this week. There's definitely a lot going on, and I gotta say, when I'm looking at the energy right now, everybody, this is a full moon in Aries that we came into this week with, and we are entering into the eclipse energies because the next full moon will be in Taurus lunar eclipse-wise. And that's a big shift because that's getting prepared for the nodes, which are shifting at the beginning of 2022 in January into Taurus and Scorpio. But let's talk about this week. But I like to always look ahead to understand where we're at in the moment. We are at a full moon in Aries. This is a big one. The sun finishing in Libra this week. And why is this full moon in Aries so important? Well, of course, it's the release to bring us into something new. But it's the release of things that we're not identifying with anymore that are bringing us the peace, the balance, the harmony. Remember that the sun and Mars are combust right now. They're together at this end of Libra. Mars is on the other side of the sun from the Earth's perspective, right? Mars is actually 1 year ago away from the retrograde it was in. So we are seeing Mars at its fastest speed, but we also cannot see Mars right now. And so this is a very intense Martian energy right now. I'm sure these last, especially couple weeks with the new moon that was 2 weeks ago in Libra, we had 4 planets come direct. And we were in a 6-planet retrograde coming into that new moon. And then that new moon brought us, Pluto. And then Saturn came right after that. And then Mercury and Jupiter went direct on Monday, the 18th. And here we are on the 20th, full moon in Aries, with it opposing this Sun-Mars. So there's conflict no matter where you're at, but it's conflict of what am I not identifying with anymore? With Mercury and Jupiter that have come direct, that's a big deal, of course, because the nodes are in Gemini and Sag, and those are the 2 signs that rule these planets, or the planets that rule those signs. And I think that it's very important for us to really take into account that this is about this new energy. It's a refreshing energy, but the only way to get there, especially is if you look at what's going on. This is a full moon in square to Pluto, which has just come direct, of course, within the last 2 weeks, within this lunation cycle that we're in. And Pluto in Capricorn at 24 degrees is squaring that moon at 27, is squaring that sun at 27. And we also have Mars, which has been trine Jupiter, that just went direct on Monday. So there's this, okay, new stories, but it's all about people. We have Jupiter and Saturn that have come direct for the first time since they've ever conjuncted in, gosh, centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries. And then we have all this Libra energy about relationships and finding the justice in life and our real truth. There's a lot about truth with the North Node being in Gemini and with Mercury that just came direct on Monday. So coming into this week, this is all about the new chapters in our life. This is all about the new stories. But we can't be afraid and we can't be sitting on things that, I guess the best way to put it is we just can't be in a space in our life to where we're all just going to just hope for something to happen. We have to take action, and that action is about things that we have to draw, especially with that Pluto energy, we have to draw that line. We have to get to that boundary line and be like, no, this is not serving me into a better place. This is not the character, or this is not where the journey is going for me and the plans that I have, even though right now I don't think anybody really knows where they're going. Because Neptune in Pisces, retrograde at 20 degrees, is in semi-square to Pluto. So this is definitely, okay, I know I got to make a change. And maybe, that semi-square is hard because it's like intuitively, do I trust my intuition fully? I know I should, but there's questions, but there's beliefs, but I don't want to hurt people, but there's sensitivities, but and then here's this moon in Aries, like, come on, let's do it. And so that also brings up a lot of the semi-square energy that we've been going through when we had Neptune semi-square Uranus. That was, this world's really crazy, the people are crazy, everything in the world's crazy, oh my gosh. Now it's this inner, deeper place where it could kind of feel a little bit, I guess the best way to put it would be like a little bit like alone. The only reason why I say that is because if you take a look at what we got coming on this week, with the sun finishing up here in Libra, with Mars finishing up in Libra, but Mars will still stay in Libra here for a minute here, and not until we get to the end of this month, but when it comes into its home sign of Scorpio. But the interesting element of this is that it reminds me that I said it in my daily, which I did put out today publicly, and I did put out all over the place, which is, it reminds me of the 2014 energy, especially with the Pluto-Uranus square. That was that really peak moment of that Pluto-Uranus square. That was Pluto in Capricorn, Uranus in Aries, but it was North Node in Libra. We had Libra eclipses. We had a lunar eclipse in Aries squaring Pluto in Capricorn with Uranus there. And then, of course, what was the sign that was aspecting it too was Cancer, and Jupiter was there. But we have nothing in Cancer right now. So this is reminding me of some of the lessons of being learned. Like then we found some sort of home that we were kind of running to. You might have the best home in your life. You might have the best family in your life. You might be letting your massager under the sheets take care of you to make you feel more comfortable. I know some of the ladies are laughing on that one. But there's still something about little massage button isn't doing it all the way for yourself, or that place that you find solace with is kind of empty right now, and that's what we're all looking for. The peace, the balance, the actions to take, the new stories, the unsure of where our intuition is or what to commit to, Neptune semi-square Pluto. Where are we going to commit our energy? I am intuitively lost, or I intuitively have to trust, and that's a very big sensitive thing. And also there's a lot of unknowns, but unknown is everything right now with all this Aquarius energy. Unknown is everything right now with Neptune, or especially in Pisces, but unknown is everything right now because the North Node in Gemini is about the curiosity. To finally understand what fact is, you must go through the curiosity and figure it out and get to that place of, oh yeah, I've been to that place before. That place is awesome. Or I've been to that place before. If you go in the back and you talk to somebody, they'll be able to hook you up with the key to the bathroom when you really have to go pee. But if you're not wearing the right top, they won't give you the key. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's where, instead of just kind of like, well, it looks good because I saw the reviews online. No, what's the facts? What's the real deal? What's the street smarts in many ways? And this is us being spiritual gangsters for real, yo. This is that moment. And also when it comes to the injustices in the world, I mean, especially there's so much happening this week, especially looking that Mercury's now direct and Jupiter's now direct. And they're stuck at their stationary direct positions here, but they are really having us aspect and understand these nodes. And when you look at this energy this week with the sun leaving Libra and entering into Scorpio, the moon will be finishing in Taurus and will be pretty much at the exact same degree that the lunar eclipse will be when the sun comes into Scorpio. So when the sun ingresses into Scorpio by this weekend, the moon is in Taurus. There's like another full moon for a mini second, and it's right close by the nodes. And there is this kind of magical yet very kind of weird energy that's even more weird. We keep getting blasted with weird energy, okay? If you haven't been on planet Earth lately, it's been weird. And I think that it's important to not freak out about that weird and know that this is a time that it's really weird. But when we come into this Scorpio energy, and with Mars that is squaring Pluto this week while the sun is coming into Scorpio, we have to not only find, I think, that place of solace, that Cancer energy, or even that Leo energy, because with Jupiter and Saturn that are now direct, the opposite sign of that is Leo. So if you look at the sun and the moon's home, they're being aspected in really weird ways. And more important than that, there is an element to us where it doesn't feel like we're part of this reality normally, or we're not part of this place, and we're all seeking this peace. We're all seeking this beautiful energy. And I'm here to drop a truth bomb on you. This week is about realizing that you create that peace. You create that world. You create the energy in which you want to be. I'm in spiritual high vibe Disneyland right now. It just didn't just show up. I don't care how weird the energy is. I don't care how crazy things are going on. I don't care what government official is telling me to do, what I got to do. Did it stop me from doing this? No. And that's the lesson of this full moon in Aries. What is stopping you from doing the things in your life that you truly, like for me, my iPhone just fell, but it didn't stop me. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? You know the thing. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. But, and I think that's what's kind of funny right now. Actually, if you think of the whole, let's go, Brandon thing, and how the deception of, we all know what everybody was saying, and the media is sitting there going, oh, yeah, they're talking about you, Brandon. Right. That this Scorpio energy is not going to, remember, this whole year has been Aquarius. This whole year has been Uranus and Taurus. This whole year has been this big square between Saturn and Uranus in these fixed signs. We had Mars and Venus even meet up in Leo. We had a lot of energy happening in the three fixed signs, but the fourth one, Scorpio, just a Venus to transit through, which Venus hates Scorpio, so that's not much. So this sun coming into Scorpio is our desires, our hungers, and add that to all the aspects that have been hitting Leo and Cancer. Gosh, that just sounds like we are hungry hippos. We are Pac-Man and Pac-Woman. Was that what it? Pac-Man, Pac-Woman? Huh? Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man. Looking for the place to find our solace, our happiness, and our hungers and our desires. But we also cannot be in deniability right now when it comes to what is that ultimate truth now, especially all this Libra energy that needs to restore the balance on the planet and back to the people. That's what all these trines have been. But with the sun coming into Scorpio, with Mars squaring Pluto, and then with Mars coming into Scorpio by the end of this month to square all the Aquarius and to oppose all the Taurus. This is about to be why I keep bringing up. This reminds me of the Pluto-Uranus square times that we went through from 2012 to 2015 in your life, where you had to realize your independence in the system to break free of the system in order to find power. That was the test for 20. Why do you think social media people and people that are on YouTube or in Instagram and stuff, the ones from 2012 through 2015, are still here? because that was the test in your life, to find your own individual power out of the system. Well, now the system, after 2020 and after what we've gone through, and into 2021 with Saturn in Aquarius, with Jupiter, by the way, enhancing that Saturn energy, and with the South Node being the dispositor, of course, of Jupiter because it's in Sag, it's almost again like Saturn again is at its home sign, and it's kind of ruling Jupiter again. So really, we have not felt the real Jupiter energy. Plus all the Sun trine Jupiters of this year, the two that we had, were when Jupiter was stationed, ready to switch from, did turn retrograde or was retrograde and not direct yet on this last one we just had. So we have not had not only just the Jupiterian energy of life, we also haven't had any normal energy, all these weird energies. And at the same token, the people are looking for the justice just to find peace and balance, yet there's a force out there that's trying to counter that, that's trying to disrupt us, worry us about food shortages, worry us about, if you're ever going to find that place of solace. But this is the courage that you determine how your peace in your life goes, and to have the courage to not be afraid with the squares to Pluto, and also to surround yourself around the people, surround yourself around the relationships, the groups, and the friends. And this is the time, of course, where they continue to find ways to, at this point, if anybody's still into the fucking cuckoo fucking show of like stay away from people, like, come on. I'm just being real. Like, how come people that don't got something in their arm can't go help people right now in a hospital? Does that make any sense? This is a time where we have to realize that all of us as a collective is literally being completely battled against by one small dark force that's trying to take over the whole collective. And the way to combat that is for you to be in your power and to align with others and to get through your issues about partnering, or we all have them. We all have them. We all have those problems. And this Scorpio energy is about commitment. It's about going deeper. It's about bridging the gap between the beauty and the balance and the harmony and the adventure of what's to come. With that is the commitment, is going deep. It is the authenticity. And when you have, to me, the transits of Mars square Pluto, the Sun coming into Scorpio, these are the big ones to me. Venus as well, getting ready to square Neptune this week. So we got to look at where's the rose-colored glasses, especially of us being too rosy, just about everything or about people, and have to just be dealing with the truth. And then with that Neptune in semi-square to Pluto, you're going to have to be like, okay, like I have to grow up and I have to make big decisions about what's real and what's advancing in my life forward, especially with Venus that's been in quincunx to Uranus. We're also going to have Mercury that's going to be at 13 degrees in quincunx to Uranus. So we have a lot of energy quincunxing over to Uranus and Taurus that is retrograde. And remember that what's even weirder about this time is after 4 planets went direct within a new moon to this full moon, that's pretty wild and very rare. The only 2 planets retrograde are Neptune and Uranus that deal with the outer realms, and they deal with our subconscious. They deal with our patterns. And so these are the patterns now where you are stubborn and where you not so much disconnected, but might just be like the fool about it and be stubborn about it, or be not really in a place where you're understanding, hey, this is where Spirit's asking me to move forward and to find better quality things by me letting go of the things that I'm attached to too much in my soul that I think I radically already understand, or I radically need to hold on to, because if I don't, I'll lose everything in my life, or I won't understand my soul. You already don't understand your soul, because we all have to move forward into a new direction. And the stuff that has been tried doesn't work. So think about this. This is old school astrology. I'm not just like making this shit up here, but it's pretty simple at this point to go, anything through this retrograde energy of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, with the squares that have been going on to Uranus and Taurus, from, let's say, June to now that they're both direct, Jupiter and Saturn, didn't work. It's clear. And the data's out for that. The mind-boggling part is that people are still reporting that it works. Don't work. Don't know how much more data I can pull out for you there. So we need to try new approaches now. And we need to listen more to the people. We need to listen to more people in our own life. We need to be willing to realize that we're going to need to find alliances in our life, because shortages are a very big, realistic thing. What's the next lunar eclipse in? Oh, wait, it's a month away. Oh, it's in Taurus. Where's the sun moving? Scorpio. Where's the south node and the north node moving into January 2022? Oh, wait, Taurus and Scorpio, financial. Where's Venus about to retrograde? Oh, on top of Pluto in Capricorn? That Pluto's never been to this high up, and especially for Venus to retrograde here, and that hasn't happened since 2014. And look at the gas prices, and look at Obama's agenda back in 2014. Or the self-employment tax and stuff like that. You have to really start to put these pieces together and go, this shit's not a joke. But God would not have us go through something, and this is where you have to get over the fear, and where you have to define your life now, and define what are the things that are not bringing you beauty, and not be so afraid of it, and actually step into your life into a much better and much more beautiful place by who you connect with, the tribe you do, and the relationship situations that we all got to figure out. And with that Neptune squaring Venus this week, and even Juno, right? Venus and Juno are about to meet up in Sag. Wow, that usually is a party. Well, it's square Neptune. So stop idolizing certain people that you think, oh, this is my twin or whatever, and it's like, no, I'm going to go replay all my old fucking patterns. This is about getting rid of the patterns in your life that are no longer bringing you there to that place of solace and beauty and harmony, and also the relationships that we really want to have in our lives. And I think that's an important notion to not only have, but to also really process and actually make part of our lives, So let's go into the charts right now. I'm just going to load up right here. I have a lot to show in the charts, and I just feel on the channel element of things, it's a much more enriching process that we have to step into, because we feel hollow, and it's about bringing things in, and it's about also at the same time, in order to bring things in, we have to stop doing the same things we always do. And we have to find ways to meet in the middle somewhere. We have to find compromise with the Aquarius and the Libra energy finishing here. Especially the Libra energy, because we're Aquarius, we got a minute in here with that. And then, of course, with Mars squaring Pluto, we got to go deeper. And at that other element of things, watching this moon come into Gemini this weekend, being with the North Node, going to finish out the trine with Mars here, and get a good trine to Jupiter. And then as the moon comes into Cancer, its home sign is going to yacht over to Venus and over to Jupiter, which are going to sextile, but then at least Venus will be done with the square to Neptune. So there's a lot of beautiful gifts coming for us. They're in relationships. They're in new values. They're in us letting go of our old belief systems that are subconsciously running and are not allowing us to see the truth or deny the truth, especially from our patterns within, our subconscious ones, and our ones of our selfishness, are ones where we will not stop holding these certain things in our life that are blocking us from having the better way. And because Cancer is being aspected by the three cardinal signs in this full moon, to me, really, it is people are lazy. People are too afraid. They're too comfortable in what they hate. They're too comfortable in what is not bringing them beauty. They're too comfortable with people that they don't want to be with. They're too comfortable with situations that they would hate to be in. So the only way out is the only way out is to stand your line, stand your ground. And I know that's not easy. I'm not here to say that it is at all. But you're going to have to, you know.
You're gonna have to put it out. That's just what you gotta do. And if you're too afraid, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, let's look at these charts. Or you could just
be like, oh my God, so like Britney's free finally, and I'm with this person, you know. I mean, yeah, we shoot up some stuff from China, some fentanyl and all that, and everything's fine. And then we watch free Britney videos. It's really fun. You know what's sad?
there's actually people who are doing that right now. I guarantee you. I guarantee it.
I'm not here to sell you any suits tonight. Anyway, let's take a look, see what's going on planetary-wise. First, of course, from the 3D chart, and then we will see what's going on in the charts. Here we are on this October 21st. We just did, of course, today have that full moon, so that moon is coming off of that fullness in opposite to the sun. But look at that Mars. It's an opposition. That's the combustion. But we've already had that opposition. Here's Venus getting closer and closer to Earth here. So, of course, that Venus retrograde is getting real hot and heavy here, getting close, almost ready for coming into some shadow period here, as Venus is not this weekend exiting Sag, but getting close to and enter into Capricorn, where it'll enter into definitely some shadow period stuff. So we got some weeks away from that, but we got to get through the South Node energy with Venus, and we got to get through the Neptune square. And, you know, looking at Mercury, we're done with that Mercury retrograde. Mercury's in orbit where it's the closest to the sun. And it's definitely a time for us to really get closer to God, get closer to understanding our soul right now. Also, in the heavens, if we take a look, right, so because Mars is over there and Earth's always on the opposite side, that's how we look at things. It's kind of interesting to see, like, look at Jupiter and Saturn, right? They are definitely, from the sun's point of view, apart now. Technically, if you were actually to look at the tropical version of the helio, what's going on, Jupiter's already in Pisces and Saturn's in Aquarius, but of course, sidereal-wise, we have Saturn still in Capricorn, and we have Jupiter that is in Capricorn and ready to get out of Capricorn and come back into Aquarius from whether you practice Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology. Jupiter stopped there at that last degree of Capricorn, came back in at its fall position. Which kind of blows my mind because as an astrologer, from whether it's Western or Vedic, there's still the same kind of things. We all are getting to the same conclusion. Me saying that Jupiter's not a big deal right now because the South Node's in Sag and because Jupiter, of course, got trines to it while it was stationary is the same as Jupiter retrograding back into Capricorn, its fall position while it was in Aquarius. And with Saturn and Capricorn there, Jupiter's not happy. So, but from the sun's point of view, it's like the universe is way ahead of us already, and we are all feeling like we are on catch-up. And we also are feeling like, well, what's really going on, God? Kind of like, are we going to be okay? And it's like, yeah, but, you got to get kind of going here. Kind of, God's cheering for us, but we got to not be, we kind of got to get going, and we got to start taking action. All these planets are direct, except two outer planets, and we just had the opposition to Mars here from the Earth, and we got Venus coming close to really rearrange our relationships even more than we've ever thought, into new stories, into crazy new positions of destiny and so forth. And at the same token, there's just a lot that's going on here. So let's take a look real quick here, see what's going on with the charts. Thursday, here we are with the sun here being in Libra with Mars there starting to square Pluto. So we're 2 degrees away, we're 2 days away from the sun coming in on, actually, the end of the 22nd, we are going to see the sun come into Scorpio. So, by Friday night, Sun in Scorpio, Mars squaring Pluto. This is definitely us realizing in order for us to get what we want in our life, we're going to have to go deeper into growing up, into changing the blocks, changing the rigidness in order to have ourselves find what we really want by connection. Mercury here at 11 degrees. Now it's off its stationary position at the 10, and it's done with the opposition to Chiron because Chiron has retrograded back to 9. That north node now has moved to 1 degree, and it's going to sit here for a good month and a half to 2 months here. So this always gets really interesting whenever you see the nodes right before they change. The reason why is because it brings you to this place where you always see the nodes just sit there at the end of the transit at the beginning of a sign before they enter into the end of a sign. And so, this truth element's going to be a big deal, especially the Pleiades are really deep, especially the cluster of those stars when you get to right here. So maybe the Pleiadians are right. Maybe it is all about the light work. The moon and Uranus going to be together and quincunxing over to Venus here after this full moon, but not exact anymore. I mean, I'm kind of feeling the energy for us coming into after this full moon is ready for changes that are going to feel better in our life, but we're kind of like forced to have to do it within ourselves by taking some sort of action. Maybe we're going to need a friend or a partner or somebody in our life maybe that might help to push us right now, because that Venus is in Libra and the Sun and Mars are still in their fall and detriment, right? There's the Sun at fall and there's Mars at detriment, and so -3, -9 by position, and Saturn still ruling the zodiac. I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot wait until we are done with this Saturn Capricorn into Aquarius thing. Saturn's just been ruling the roost for too long, but we still got some time. So don't think the key out of the jail yet. It's here. It's all about, though, character building and growth, and those are good things. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. But Jupiter's kind of waiting for what to do. I mean, I think Jupiter's waiting for Venus to sextile it. So this week, Jupiter, it's direct, but it's in a pondering place in the south node there in Sag. It's there. And, of course, it's starting to feel the nodes. Oh, we do have eclipse energy coming. So by Friday, boom, Sun comes into Scorpio. Ingress is at Scorpio at 0 degrees Scorpio on October 22nd at 9:51 p.m. Pacific. So that's going to be October 23rd at 12:51 a.m. Eastern. And look at that moon. It's going to be at 28 Taurus when that happens. The lunar eclipse is going to be at 27 degrees of Taurus. So weird premonition energy of what's about to come for over the next month till that lunar eclipse. Even a little less, with the Sun coming into Scorpio. It's kind of like a full moon lunar eclipse without being one, of course, more like a full moon, but there's kind of that eclipse ting to it. Saturn also as well, 7 degrees. Now it's done with its stationary position at 6. Venus at 16, whatever. Mars done with the square to Pluto, though, as we come into there. And so that Sun in Scorpio here is going to activate Pluto a lot. And Pluto's on the move, right? Pluto went direct, and Pluto, of course, and Saturn right now make the midpoint at 0 and 1 degree of Aquarius right here. And so, there's a lot of pressure right now in life, and that Sun is going to square that midpoint at Pluto-Saturn on this ingress. So that's a lot of the kind of frustrations that are going on right now is like, fuck, especially the Sun coming into Scorpio, like, this is a block. The world's blocked for my own needs. There maybe are people that I would want to connect with that maybe they don't want to connect with me, or I don't want to connect with them. Maybe they don't find me attractive. Maybe I don't find them attractive. Maybe I don't know how to attract people. Maybe they don't know how to attract me to be wanting to go after them. You could be attracted to somebody but not be attracted at the same time, you know what I mean? but add the whole understanding of what's going on with Pluto and Saturn direct, like from 2020 when they conjuncted, and the Sun ingress into Scorpio. I know, Apple Watch, Siri. The interesting part to me, though, is that the Sun ingress is in square to the midpoint of Saturn Pluto. Not easy. Not gonna, and with a moon in Taurus, which brings, of course, this energy on top of the North Node, which is harsh emotionally. It's not, again, there's another sign of us wanting that deeper emotional comfort, but also, you know, Jeff Joward told me on a reading before he passed, I have my moon at, this is my lunar return chart pretty much. I'm like, great. But, because I'm 28 Taurus moon, 54 minutes. But what's interesting, at least the sun is going to be in the 5th house, possibly. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Maybe. He told me that my moon there at the end of Taurus was a truffled, very like stubborn emotional place, right? Like truffle oil. And I'll never forget that because, you know, the moon at the last degree of Taurus, especially with algal there and stuff, like, you know, the moon's exalted in Taurus. But the fact that the North Node's there, it's like my own chart. I have a North Node in Gemini with a moon in Taurus really close. And there's a calling for the best and the most exciting. Not only is it the best, but it has to be the most exciting too. And that Sun in Scorpio, that's the buried treasure we're searching for. And that square to Pluto and Saturn, it's almost like the pirates are like turned all woke and against pirates now. And we all are pirates going like, what the fuck? That's actually a good analogy. I really like that analogy I just came up with because that's how it feels, and that's what's coming into this one. It's like we all want the good shit, and what happened to the pirates that wanted to get out there and have interesting, fun adventures and good times and curiosities and go out on ships and fucking have a great time? No, they're all woke now, and they're all putting on uniforms and putting on masks. What happened to hanging out on the beach with the rum? No! Stay away from me. I'm getting on one of those British ships over there. I'm not going to be a pirate anymore. Okay. All righty. Have fun with that one. That hit home. Mars, of course, done with that square to Pluto. So the Sun in Scorpio is definitely like, I'm here, motherfuckers, and I'm pissed. People are crazy. Pirates are turning into wimps. The moon's in Taurus, but it's not fully. I have to go through a lunar eclipse with this motherfucker, and it's exalted. I'm not exalted here or anything, and it's getting doubly exalted. 2 moons in Taurus during the Sun in Scorpio. Let's not forget about that one. Guess what happened last time? 2 moons in Taurus with the Sun in Leo. Gosh, I know you're not going to hear that anywhere else. It's because people don't remember that shit. This is a sign, especially with the North Node being in Gemini so close to it, that we are all on a big calling of finding the emotional truffle oil and the excitement for our needs and looking at where's the happiness, where is the truffle oil, where are the people that are not fucking flip-floppy crazy weirdos that are too woke to go get canceled and be a fucking pirate with. And that goes with love, that goes with a lot of different aspects in our life. What happened there? That was a shut off of a light. Hold on, I don't know how this just shut off here. Oh, maybe. There we go. So take this understanding of this next month of Scorpio season and realize there's a lot to try to understand here. Plus, just to show you all what's going on too with the sun in Scorpio. Let me clear the chart here. Okay, let me clear the page. Okay, so if you take a look at Neptune here at 20, and that semi-square over to Pluto, right? That's the 40. It's about a 44-degree angle right now, but that's a semi-square 45, right? And so this is where the spiritual commitment energy and the commitment energy and the sensitivity and the soul energy of where to put its energy and where the destiny lies and, you know, where God's destiny lies. I mean, this is where people lie to themselves too. Like, no, it's not Mark of the Beast. No, it fucking is. Come on. No, I see it differently. I want to see it in this more positive place. No, motherfuckers, sun's in Scorpio. Pluto is going to go to the last 2 degrees of Capricorn. We've been in this Pluto and Capricorn since 2008. Neptune's in the 3rd decan now, Pisces. This is not checkers. This is chess, as Denzel Washington would say to Ethan Hawke. Don't be Ethan Hawke. Be Ethan Hawke and, okay, being the good person, but you're going to also have to be Denzel, who knows the streets and knows what to fucking do. Just don't get stupid in Vegas with the Russians, you know what I mean? Then everything's fine. And don't be Snoop in a wheelchair trying to swallow your fucking stash, you know what I mean? That's right, get a little training day on you motherfuckers. All right, so here we are, Saturday, August 23rd, 2021. Sun's in Scorpio, Venus here at 17. Not, again, but we got that moon in Gemini now. It's going to make a nice trine over here to Saturn. We got that nice grand trine going on with Mercury. Mercury going to start quincunxing Uranus, though, but I'm really feeling that this weekend better be exciting. It better be fucking exciting, because you're going to know now with Scorpio, there's no more lies, right? And there's the energy of Neptune itself, the deception, the fact that in these last couple of years, anybody who is going to try and say, no, this is the big lie is what the media says. I'm sorry, the Neptune rules the media, and now we've got Neptune in semi-square to Pluto. They're hiding something big. And then it was semi-square to Uranus. They're hiding things from the people. Please do some astrology. Please. So don't start doing that to yourself now and believing your own bullshit that you know is not really fucking true. And especially Mercury is going to get the hell shocked out of it by Uranus and Taurus. Like, that's not really that great. I mean, cardinal air, right? It's like, okay, like, I have an idea that I can understand what is from both sides. Uranus and Taurus is like, yeah, they don't have truffle oil, though. They're fucking saying they got truffle oil, but they really don't. Well, you got to give them credit, though, for trying. No, you don't. Sun's in Scorpio now. Relationships, of course, are a big deal with Mars still being here in Libra, Mercury still being here in Libra. And I hate to say it, the dark's getting a little bit of power. Thou that shall not be named at 22 degrees of Libra, trining Jupiter. And they are using beliefs. They are using conditioning. The dark is using beliefs to get their message out and to convert people into the cult that they want you to live in. Do not subject. Do not enter into this cult. Many have. This is your time to exit the cult. Emergency exits are to your left and to your right. Please leave the cults now. The ones that the media have created, the ones that are not true to us feeling, and do you get anything out of that cult? A Band-Aid and a mask. Wonderful. That ended up in the trash. It's time to get out of the cult. Thank God for the Scorpio energy to come in. This is what's been missing. To straighten out, it's not that strong though. I'll be honest, the Sun in Scorpio right now, because of course this week, because Saturn's at home and Jupiter's with Saturn, and there's this enhancement of this woke agenda, however you want to call it. It's Aquarian. It's like, no, the world, the planet. They have you make Aquarius feel like it's the planet Earth. No, it's Taurus shit. Uranus is in Taurus. Everybody who told you in the 1930s, we need to do this is the best thing for Earth, were the people that fucking bombed the shit out of it and killed all the people. You don't think that that's a coincidence happening over again? No? Maybe that's a little bit too deep for people, or maybe they don't want to hear that. But it's Scorpio, so you have to be willing to at least have your doors open enough to go, is this shit credible, or do I close it out? At least being able to learn to receive, too. And we're going to need to receive because there's not going to be much out there. There's great ideas floating around. There's great truth floating around. But is anything physically coming together? Well, if Uranus is in Taurus, it feels like it's a spaceship that we don't have the GPS tracking on. When's it going to get here with my shipment? There's no UPS tracking on this. No, we are not on Star Tours at Disneyland and FedEx is sponsoring the ride. Nope. And with Venus in the South Node, I would say that that's one of my worries as an astrologer. Square Neptune is, no, everything's going to be okay. There's no shortages around. My partner's perfect. Yeah, that was them on camera leaving the strip club last night. They were not at Grandma's house. Grandma did not give $41 bills that she had saved in her shoebox for him. Venus, South Node, Sag. Square Neptune. You know, some people don't want to hear that shit because they're looking at that person right now. Could be in, of course, different ways. We also have that Sunday, the 24th, coming in, and that moon still in Gemini, 16 degrees. We're going to see that moon starting to make nice trines here to Jupiter. We got Mercury exactly quincunx Uranus. So this is definitely going to be some shocking stuff that Mercury's already done. This will be the third pass of Mercury quincunx Uranus. We got Sun now at 1 degree. We got Mars at 26 degrees. You know, Sun's still squaring that midpoint between Pluto and Saturn. So this weekend is really a big testament on whether or not you're ready to pivot and commit to a pivot and commit to seeing what the new future will look like by using the boundaries as like a pirate would. Like, are you a pirate? Yes. It reminds me of Robin Williams when he tries to sneak into Hook's world and dress as a pirate. And there's the dumb pirates in the back that are like, to watch the baseball game. But see how fast that Hook was able to get his son to make him feel like he was the best father. That's how the cult's doing it right now. Even though those were real pirates. This is kind of the flip now where this is not Neverland. This is reality. And the pirates are the ones, the spiritual tyrants, are going against the tyrants against spirituality, as John Dee would put in 1564. And this is where your voice, your truth, is at its greatest power. Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Gemini, with the North Node, with a trine to Jupiter, with Mercury in quincunx to Uranus. With Mercury done with the retrograde, in shadow still, but direct, and the last pass to the quincunx to Uranus. And Venus, 18, getting close to that square to Neptune. This is where you're going to have to get rid of those weird belief systems about the values, the relationship energies, and the people and the situations, especially that are in the cult, in the belief system, and that are not willing to look at truth. If you notice, the truther community is a lot different than the cult community. The cult community, like, sit around Zoom and watch. I couldn't believe it the other day. I saw some YouTube video where I forgot which guy unboxed the Fauci kit for watching his movie. And it came with a little mask. Of course, you're not allowed to invite people over to watch the movie unless you have a card. Not Hitlerish at all. No, not at all. Don't know what anybody's talking about. Here's Monday, October 25th. Now, this is where things, to me, this is, oh, you know what I forgot to mention? Why is it such a powerful truth day? The sun is quincunxing the North Node, too. Forgot to bring up that. Oh. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. But that moon comes into Cancer and trines the sun in Scorpio, and so this is where the emotions can start to be fulfilled. But we are in still a Mars in Libra, still, of course, with this Pluto energy in Capricorn, but the cardinal energy is done with this stuff. So the moon in Cancer is about to restore things here. And I think it's super important to pay attention to this moon in Cancer with the sun in Scorpio, because we want to start building those emotional bonds. And we really want to look at how we can do that. Although it's an interesting period with Venus that will be squaring Neptune, with the south node being here. Neptune's going to win this one, but especially those stuck in beliefs or not willing to look at the truth, or really you're going to have to use your emotions to really feel things out. Like, what feels real? Like, we're going to have to get back to what's authentic. Now, I know there's a lot of there's a lot of motherfuckers out there, and I think it's bigger than we even realize. I think that they're lying to us in the media. I think that they all know that we're all fucking like, fuck you motherfuckers, we see through your bullshit. But believe it or not, at the same time, I can also see the other side where I'm like, wow, there's so many fuckers that don't see it. We have to use our emotions in our life and go like, is this good? Because that Venus square Neptune is not just beer goggles. You got a mask on your face, so you're beer goggled out and you can't even breathe and see correctly and get enough oxygen to be able to determine whether or not the people or the person or the thing that you're building or the cult that you're in is fucking good or not. Oh, shit. Too good. You know, how weird is that? The people that are going to the bars the most are the people who are in that cult too, which is, it's so funny. The people who are living their life in a world we're not allowed to go live in. We're not allowed to go live in this world or have a job in this world. Many people are the last people that are out getting fucked up. People getting fucked up right now? Is that programmed? I think some part of the shadow reality is about seeing about what is programmed by this whole thing. With this Venus squaring Neptune. This is where you kind of can fall, or I like the square too, because we can see through and let go of the belief systems, or let go of the things we're holding on to in our life that really are not serving us anymore, especially the kind of people that were around. There's a lot of that this week. There's a lot of cutting out, a lot of Martian energy, because, you know, Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio. And then, of course, with Pluto being the ruler of it, Pluto is on its way to tear down the rest of this Capricorn world. You can already see it now happening. With that moon in Cancer, we got to find our homes. Why? Coming into Tuesday, that moon in Cancer is getting at 11 degrees. We're going to see a nice sextile to Uranus, wanting to find that. We're going to see the square to Mercury. We're going to see at the same time Venus exactly square Neptune. So Tuesday to me is looking like not just Tuesday is a Tuesday. Tuesday is nothing but a Tuesday is what I like to say. But on
this Tuesday, it is not.
So, did I scare you a little bit there? I hope I didn't scare you too much. So, it's going to get a little messy with the raw and authentic, but that's better than just being hopeful and optimistic and trying to avoid realistic, authentic, and truthful things. This is the end of Gemini North Node. This is the Scorpio transit coming in that has been an empty space throughout this year with all the Aquarius, with all the Taurus, and even all the Leo that happened. And Venus at the same time square Neptune is not the only thing Venus is going to have to go through. Venus is on her way into Capricorn to meet with Pluto to retrograde and stay in Capricorn for a long time. So, to me, it's a checkpoint with your values, your relationships, your money, too. This is where it's like, no, that's just transitory inflation. Why do you think crypto's going so good? But, you know, what blows my mind is how majority of the American public are not in it. Just like, no, everything will be fine. We are in the greatest changing of times of our lives. I warned people about this for a long time with Uranus and Taurus. I warned people a long time about the events just that have happened for all these years. This is your checkpoint where shit's going to get real this week. The checkpoint is the realness. It's not Nazis asking for your papers, although that's already happening in LA and New York and other places. But this is a divine checking on whether or not you're ready to truly surrender yourself and let go of the idolization of people, projects, and happiness, or things that make you feel better that really are not good for your journey and are not your authentic true self. It's okay. We all fuck up. We all fuck up. And I think that this is a beautiful week for us to allow ourselves and forgive ourselves of the stories, of the choices, and the things that we have made that really are not our authentic and true self. This is the checkpoint before it gets so real. It's going to be so real that it's going to freak people out. But for those that are solid in truth, solid in the shattered reality, solid in knowing this shit's not normal, nor is it going to normal, because there are people purposely trying to take over and change this place, but they've gotten so big in their house of cards, it's going to crash at the same time too. And this is your check on holding the line. That's what that full moon in Aries was about. That's what all this is about. I even added one more chart. Wednesday, we have a finger of God with the moon, a very rare one, of course, because the moon is a very rare yod. 2, and Venus is a fast planet. So we have moon, Jupiter, Venus, yod. Moon. This is what it's all leading up to, coming into from this full moon Wednesday into October 27th, with Mars finishing at 28 here. The sun at 4 degrees. And the big one to me is this Jupiter 22, this Venus, Juno conjunction, we can call that, to this yod to the moon in Cancer, to find our true emotional roots is the adventure of a life by purging all the things that are not allowing us to go into our future, by holding on to beliefs, by holding on to cycles, by holding on to subconscious parts of ourselves, and not being willing to make new pivots in how we deal with our life or stay in places emotionally we don't want to be. This is Scorpio. We transform. We cut it out. We get to the root. We get to the truth. We get to it, especially with this North Node in Gemini, and Lilith being there too at the same time in Gemini at 17 degrees. And actually pretty much activating a lot of that energy that's, with Mercury. It's very Lilith Mercury week too. It's like, you're going to have to look at what you don't like in order to know what you really want, especially in truth and especially with partners and especially with relationships and the beauty in your life. I mean, in many ways, it's always like, whenever you think of beauty, it's like, okay, I'm not a girl, but it's like girls, all I hear them complain is like, well, I don't have my makeup on yet, right? It's like girls got to go do their makeup and then they feel beautiful. Men, I don't know, I guess we're old school. We just need to take a shower and feel like, well, I shaved today and I fucking put on a collared shirt, so fuck yeah, But there's that element of like getting to beauty, right? Well, this is like, the way that you get to beauty isn't been working anymore, so you have to figure out a new way to do it. So it would be like a new makeup routine, or for dudes, it'd be like, that collared shirt's kind of
old school, bro.
So that's like a nice way to put it. The better way to put it, though, would be that it's going to look ugly in order for it to look beautiful. How could, we're beautiful people, but we take shits. How could something so gross come out of something so beautiful? I don't know, That's a joke from Pablo Francisco, but I love it. And it's a good way to look at it. And where is our home? Where is our emotions at? Where is that place going to be? Well, the two benefics are going to come together in a nice sextile in a yod with the moon in its home sign. All three I would call benefic in a yod, a week from this full moon, after the checkpoint. So you either receive that or you're going to feel like you don't know where it is. And this is a week where we're starting where we don't know where things are, but we're as long as we sit in authenticity, truth, we are the pirate looking for the buried treasure, and we are not going to jump on those ships that are trying to be normal and trying to, it reminds me of like, how people think like they're so cool when they take a picture on a yacht with a bunch of other people. Like that to me makes me not want to go on a yacht. You know why? Because I would want to be the owner of that yacht, sitting by myself in it and being like, what, bitches, what? But I'm a moon and Taurus. And so I got a feeling that, it's like the authentic truth is like not following the norm, not following that's what's crazy. Here's the most basic shit I can ever give you. What is Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius? Do not follow the norm. Everybody's fucking following the norm that's not in the truth community. Like, no, I'm doing what everybody's doing. You are fucking an idiot. Aquarius is not about following the norm. That is the most simple astrology I can give you. Unless you eat at norms every day. That's cool. Normie. Because you eat at norms. Mm-hmm. Last chart, helio chart. Shattered reality. Saturn, of course, remember the sun pointed, this is the sun in the center. There is no retrograde. Sun, and remember the planetary is just moving forward. Mercury's going to be in Cancer this whole entire week. It makes square to Mars, so definitely big calls to action in our environments, what we're trying to do. But the big one, of course, Saturn in Aquarius here at 1248 has finished the exact square to Uranus on Monday. But here we are this week starting to see the shattered pieces fall apart of that normie life. And Venus is sitting between Jupiter and Neptune this week from the sun's point of view. Liking that one a lot in Pisces. Look at all that Pisces energy. So the real dream is available for people, and the spiritual checkpoint is the gift. But if you are going to be normie life, not going to look too good. And if you're not willing to search for your emotional world and realize that you're going to have to take action and figure that out with relationships, I don't know what else to tell you on that one. So I'm wishing you the best on this week, and it's okay to not know where things are going. Just follow your emotional needs and wants, desires, and more importantly, your authentic truth. And don't be afraid to be the pirate that you are. Well, since I just gave you the astrology, welcome to Spiritual Dance Music Now, where, of course, this is where I just did the astrology for you, but, of course, then I'm going to pull the tarot, and then I'm going to do a prayer, and we're going to channel it all live into a dance music mix. So, since we've done the astrology on this full moon, but I will just say this, it's a full moon in Aries. It's time for us to release the identity that is no longer bringing us the beauty in our life and not be afraid to make deeper commitments with that square to Pluto and Capricorn that are going to raise our character and raise us to better places and where we need to go with the craziness that is going on, especially regarding the physical reality, money, stuff like that, love. There's so much for us to make changes in the new identity that we have to be in order to find that beauty.